happy travelers, greetings from Iceland. If you've seen our last few videos, you know that we're doing an epic adventure around Iceland in May. So we're here in the northern part of Iceland in the parking lot for Dettifoss, which is this huge waterfall that we're about to hike to. Now, Dettifoss is really cool because it is, according to our research, the second most powerful waterfall in Europe. We have a 1 kilometer hike one way.
The hike really wasn't that bad. It was definitely a little windy and cold, but I think it was worth it. Aside from the main viewing platform, you could walk to a second area that took you to the top of the falls. That was a pretty cool vantage point. There's also a second waterfall that's a little further up the river that you can check out too.
It's called Selfoss, not to be confused with the town of Selfoss in the south.
Now we're gonna get back on the road and head to Husavik. After driving north for about an hour, we made it to the town of Husavik. We've been staying in our camper van for the last week. We have found that every couple days it's really nice to get a hotel.
Yes, the camper van is very small and cozy, but I don't like you that much. When it's very cold outside, you can't exactly achieve outdoor living, so we've been cramped in the van for a few days now. And it's nice to sometimes just get a room to, you know, shower and spread out a little bit, kind of repack our lives because everything kind of exploded all over the van.
We are staying at the Foss Hotel here in Husavik.
It's an Icelandic hotel chain that you'll see in all the tourist hotspots. And we wanted to come up to Husavik because of the movie that came out on Netflix last year.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the movie Eurovision, it was released last year and it's pretty delightfully funny.
It is delightful, so we had to come. There may or may not actually be a bar in town called Yaya Ding Dongs.
Get back in there right now and play Yaya Ding Dong!
But we wanted to come up and explore this section of Iceland anyway, so once we saw that movie, we're like, we're going to Husavik. Since we're already staying in a hotel tonight, we decided to skip the cooking in the van and came down to the hotel's restaurant and got these huge burgers. Most of the local restaurants are closed because it is Sunday. There weren't a lot of options, but luckily the restaurant that was in the hotel was still open.
Okay, now that we are full of Icelandic cheeseburgers, they love their cheeseburgers here. You can find a cheeseburger anywhere you go. We're going out actually, which is crazy because we're freaking tired. It made me so happy to learn that there's a bar called Yaya Ding Dong here in Husavik where they filmed the movie. That's where we're gonna go and have a drink. Now I need a Fire Saga t-shirt. So we made about a 15-minute walk up to the Husavik Cape Hotel where the Yaya Ding Dong bar is supposed to be, but it looks like they're renovating it or it's closed or something. Another messed up thing due to COVID. I'm pretty bummed. I was hoping for at least a little Yaya Ding Dong story. But it was a nice walk. This is the nicest weather we've had in a few days, so that's awesome. I guess we're gonna walk back to our hotel, call it an early night. Good morning, happy travelers. This morning when we woke up, the ground was covered in snow. We got another little snowstorm. We left Husavik and drove a little bit further south to connect back up with the ring road area, and we came to an area called Lake Myvatn, which is a very volcanically and geothermically active area. It kind of looks like another planet, and it's got a lot of steam vents, mud pots and fumaroles, and a lot of craters actually. Driven up to an area called Krafla Viti, and we were trying to get to the actual crater, but part of the road is covered in snow, so it was impassable. It's about a 20-minute walk, but Kevin's putting up the drone right now just to kind of see if it's worth trekking through some snow to get there. If it is, we'll head up there. Yeah, it's definitely a cool landscape, and I'm happy that we came down here because we weren't sure if we were going to visit this area.
ended up deciding not to go to the crater. After flying the drone, it looked like everything that was cool to see was covered in snow. So we decided to come just down the road a little bit to the Hverir area. I'm sorry. It's a geothermal area that is kind of similar to Yellowstone in the United States, but there's lots of like hot pots and boiling mud pits and cauldrons and stuff like that, and you can walk around a little and see all the geothermal activity. Fun fact, Iceland's electricity is produced with almost 100% renewable energy, and about 25% of that comes from geothermal. The other 75% is hydroelectric. I think in 2015 they went 100% renewable, which is really cool.
So in this area, there are walking paths marked with a little bit of rope and some stakes, but I'm surprised at how close you can actually get to some of the steam vents and things. It's very far removed from like Yellowstone, where everything's pretty much a boardwalk and you can't get really close. This whole area you can walk in, and then I guess if you go beyond the ropes, it's unsafe.
Look at this giant steam vent. You can just walk right up to it. That's crazy. That whole area was really cool, but it did smell a lot like stinky eggs. So just be aware of that if you're going to visit the area. We have drove about a half hour down the road to the Godafoss waterfall, and we're gonna cook up a little bit of lunch before we go check it out.
Hi! Grilled cheeses are a fantastic camper van food. Eating out the chair there.
Locked in counter space.
Down the road a little bit from Lake Myvatn is Godafoss, which is another gigantic waterfall here in the north of Iceland. And it's another pleasantly empty parking lot, as you can see. Sun is out and there's no clouds in the sky, which after like 5 days of snow, I love it.
So there's actually two different parking lots for Godafoss. There's one on the east bank and one on the west bank.
I'm on the east bank. I'm on the west bank.
We decided to park at the east bank. It's a short 5-minute walk to the waterfall, but there's a stairway that actually allows you to go down to the very bottom of the falls, which you can't do from the other side.
You enjoying your new drone?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
was another super cool waterfall in Iceland. Definitely worth a stop. It's right off the ring road.
Yeah, you can't miss it. It's right there.
Yeah, it's like a 5-minute walk and you can see it from the road. And the walk is pretty much paved, so it's pretty easy. It's a little bit of an incline, but not too bad at all. You don't have to pay. There's plenty of parking. Godafoss is definitely worth a stop in our opinion.
We came to the town of Akureyri, which is the largest city in the northern part of Iceland.
It's the most activity we've seen outside of Reykjavik. Most of the small towns have not much going on.
But we just had to stop and get a couple of little things, groceries, gas, fill up our water, stuff like that. We actually got off the ring road for a little bit and we're heading up the coast to try to see another lighthouse. We haven't been eating the healthiest on this trip, so yesterday at the grocery store we decided to try to get some healthier snacks. Just picked up some carrots. Just gonna go Bugs Bunny on this thing.
We had a Danish earlier today. We've had lots of popcorn and chips and all kinds of stuff, so trying to go a little healthier today. A lot of the bridges in Iceland are one way, so you have to wait until the other person goes or whatever. But you can see them on the other side. This tunnel is very long and it is one way, and there are pull-outs, so if you see someone coming you can pull out and let them by. We just saw a big semi truck.
Oh my god.
Nope. Ah, damn, it's scary. That big semi barely fit in this tunnel.
That drive was really something else. We went through a couple really cool little towns, little fishing villages, saw this insane yacht that who knows who owns that, and went through like 4 more of those tunnels.
They're really long too, like miles long.
One of them was 7 kilometers, which I think is like 5 miles or something like that. But we finally come to the lighthouse and it's perched up on these cliffs and it looks really beautiful. We're not gonna go down though because it does look like it's on private property and we kind of need to get going to our campsite for tonight. So continuing the drive. Hopefully we won't have too many more one-lane tunnels.
Our last point of interest today before we stop at our campsite is the oldest church in Iceland. It is called Grafarkirkja. Grafarkirkja. It was built in the late 17th century. It has been rebuilt by the National Museum of Iceland to its original form. It was one of the first churches that had an ornate design, so I'm excited to see some of the wood carvings, and it also had a circular cemetery, which is something that they did in ancient times. So we're gonna take a short walk and go see it. Going in.
I would imagine that they used to cover the roofs with grass like this to insulate it. Apparently this is the way that they did things in old Icelandic times. We drove just a few miles down the road and found a campsite for tonight.
I think it's our best campsite yet. In the woods, which you don't have a lot of woods in Iceland, so it's nice to find this.
We've also been staying at a lot of campsites that haven't opened yet. A lot of the summertime campsites open May 15th, and you're allowed to stay at the campsites beforehand, but none of the facilities are open. So we've actually only paid for one campsite the entire trip.
Actually, it is illegal to just park your van wherever in Iceland. I mean, people still do it.
But we're trying to follow all the rules. We're gonna go ahead and end this video here. Tomorrow we are gonna be heading to the western side of Iceland. So thanks so much for watching, everyone.
Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss those videos. We still have a couple more left in Iceland. And we will see you in the West Fjords tomorrow. This is Kelly and Kevin from the Aqua Tourists. Peace out.
I had something I want to say. It was, my face is frozen. Fun fact, Iceland's electricity is produced, Iceland's electricity is Iceland's, stop laughing, I gotta get through this, stop it.
Our last stop of the day before we stop.
We're gonna end this one here. Tomorrow we are heading to the western side of
Australia?